What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're not going to do a review today, but I'm standing in front of you because I want to talk about a subject that many of you are familiar with and have experience with. If you don't, and maybe this is new to you, but we're going to talk about the gray market and what kicked this idea off for me to have this discussion about gray market in general, the gray market dealers. I know there's been a lot of discussion on YouTube about gray market and gray market dealers, but at the time of filming this video, it's been about a week since there's been some YouTube watch drama between some of the channels out there. If you don't know, Paul Thorpe and Oisin O'Malley and Nico and all, there was this big drama about surrounding dealings with the gray market, and Paul Thorpe used to be a gray market dealer, and Oisin claimed he got true or false. I don't know. I'm not getting into this thing, but this is what kicked off the idea to make this video. It was screwed by Nico and some gray market dealers and all that kind of jazz. I just wanted to come on here and give you my experience with some gray market dealers. Now, I'm not going to name names except for the ones that I've had positive dealings with, okay? Now, again, I mentioned we moved to Wyoming. We had some, at the end of, we got here middle to beginning of January. So in December of last year, 2022, I'm filming this. It is March 1st today, actually, of 2023. We were in the middle of the move. We had some financial stuff come up, and I was convinced that I'd have to sell off my two Rolexes, which are my two-tone bluesy and my Milgauss, my Z Blue Milgauss. So I started putting feelers out there to see what it was worth, what I could do to relieve this financial burden. Many of you out there know have probably been in this, or many of you out there have probably been in a similar situation where you're like, okay, an emergency comes up or a family, for whatever, you'll do it for your family. You need to sell some of your watches. The wife was like, don't jump the gun. Turns out I didn't need to, thankfully. She's like, just don't jump the gun. But I put feelers out there to see what it would, what I could possibly make a deal with and sell these and recoup some of that money for the move. Well, this isn't the first time I've sold watches to gray market dealers, and we'll talk about that. So I reached out to some of the big ones that are on YouTube, and they got these really beautiful websites. 3 of them in particular. You put in your info. Take pictures of the watch, you do that. So you spend your time taking the pictures, writing the descriptions, putting the reference numbers, you send it in, and it says, great, we'll be in contact with you in about 24 hours. There's quite a few, half a dozen or more that I could think of right off the bat that do that type of stuff and also have big followings on YouTube, okay? With some of these channels, because let's face it, YouTube is one of the biggest places for, especially for watches, for advertisers, get your name out there, get in that community, get, out in front of your potential customers. So I did that with a couple of companies, didn't hear a response, okay? Nothing, not a, no thank you, we're not interested, no, nothing, heard nothing back, received no phone calls, text, emails, with even offers, whatever. And I'm not saying these companies have to buy my watches or have to give me offers, but at least respond to your potential customers. So I could see the frustration that the gray market gives, and it's because dealers seem to only care, it seems like a majority of them seem to only care about the money, how much profit they can make, their commodities to them. They don't seem to really care about watches or their potential customers. Because here's the thing with customer service. That guy that you blow off might one day be rich, might one day come into some money, might one day want to buy a very big piece that you guys like to sell, you gray market dealers with these huge YouTube followings and all this kind of stuff. And they're not going to come to you because you blew them off. You didn't even entertain them with a no thank you, the market's not in the right place, whatever. Okay, so that happened with, I contacted one of the companies twice, and this was, I had contacted them before when I ended up selling some watches to another gray market company, which I have had a good experience with. And I will name, I've had a good experience with 2 gray market dealers, quote unquote gray market dealers, pre-owned dealers. And I will name those, the ones that I had good experiences with. But I reached out twice to one of the big, and that's taking pictures, full descriptions, send it in, we'll hear from you 24 hours, nothing. And I reached out 3 times to, or I'm sorry, 3 times to other companies, twice to another company and once to another one. All of them blown off, not even, thank you very much, not interested. I could understand that you're not interested. Maybe the market's not gonna, is not in a good place at the time. I don't think it was in the best place. And sometimes these companies, I know they feel like they don't want to insult a customer by giving them a really lowball offer. We'll say that. You never know. You guys are dropping the ball. You never know who's going to come back to you and want to buy huge watch from me. I'll never deal with these guys again. I won't buy anything from them. Not that they had the greatest prices anyway. They inflate the heck out of these things, and they're all in it together to try to rip people off for the most part. And I am the first person to say that everybody deserves to make a profit. Everybody deserves to make a healthy profit in business. But don't screw people over. You're almost like the pawn business of watches, some of these guys. So that was 3 companies, big companies with big YouTube followings that just completely blew me off. I guess if you don't have a Richard Mille or a Patek or an AP, they don't even care about you. They don't need your scrap watches, these regular Rolexes, which again, remember I said, 2-tone bluesy, the 116613LB, which was the maxi case last generation bluesy, and the Z Blue Milgauss. Okay, so but I will name the 2 that I've had a good experience with. So Joma Shop, I am not sponsored by them. They don't send me watches. They don't give me money, nothing. I'm just being honest with you here. I have bought probably a dozen watches from Joma Shop and had a good watch buying experience. And I've sold 2. I sold a Breitling Avenger 43 and a Breitling Super Ocean to them. Actually, I traded them. No, I retract that statement. It was a Super Ocean and a white ceramic Zenith Defy. I did a straight trade with the titanium Zenith Defy because that's the one I really wanted. The white ceramic one was really cool, but I really wanted the titanium. And when I bought the white ceramic, they didn't have the titanium in stock. I jumped the gun, impulse buy, I ended up regretting it. So it cost me 2 watches for the price of 1. Fantastic interaction with them. They were responsive, sent my watches in. Yeah, we got your watches, waiting for this. Boom, it was smooth. It took a little bit to get the titanium one, but that was to be expected. But it was smooth. And every time I've purchased anything from them, it's been exactly what I ordered, no problems. Shout out to them. I know people might have different experiences. And if you've had any similar experiences, please put it in the comments below. I want to hear this stuff. I'm sure a lot of people do. And Del Rey Watch, Federico Talks Fed's channel, Federico Talks Watches YouTube channel. I had a good exchange with them. Now, we didn't come to a deal, thank goodness, because I didn't want to sell those watches anyway, but we couldn't come to a deal. And we parted ways as gentlemen, but he was very responsive. Within, I would say, an hour or so, I received an email directly from him inquiring about, as soon as I put the watches up, oh, what do you got? Boom. What are you looking for? What do you know, a true gentleman, it just responding to the emails. It ended up saying, sorry, we can't come to a deal. We were too far apart. And like I said, we parted ways as gentlemen. That's perfectly fine because at least he was responsive, answered my questions. So I will be buying stuff from them in the future. If something comes up that I really want and they have it in stock, I'm going to buy it from them. Just because he was man enough and he was customer service oriented enough to respond to me, to little old me, wanting to sell him some watches, okay? Not just if you were willing to buy. So if you had different experiences, please let me know. But don't get me wrong, the gray market overall, the pre-owned or gray market dealer experience for me has been, as far as the actual watches, has been pretty good. I haven't got any stinkers and I haven't got any screwed. I have not gotten screwed. And you can save a ton of money on the gray market. Don't get me wrong. One of the problems is you don't know exactly where that watch is coming from. Was that watch a exhibition watch, like it was sitting in the case and they sell it off? Was it a repair that the customer didn't want back? Was it a dealer? You just, sometimes you don't know. You don't know the origin story of that watch, but you do save a lot of money. So there is something to be said there. And I think if you've been in the YouTube, or if you've been watching YouTube watch review videos for any length of time, you'll hear people say, buy the seller, buy the seller, buy the seller. And that is true. Buy the seller, not the watch. That's usually when you get screwed, is when you buy from somebody that has no reputation, no, whatever. And that sometimes that doesn't come through because sometimes large dealers with large YouTube followings can be shady too. So I'm just saying, be careful out there. I can sympathize with the frustration that a lot of people have with gray market dealers. And that's why they call it the gray markets, because they kind of float in the gray area. So just be careful out there. I just wanted to give you my experience. That's what sparked this idea. Was, well, I said I was listening to the podcast, or the live stream. Was watching the live stream between those two big channels I mentioned earlier, and I was feeling the frustration with Oseen having with the gray market dealers and this kind of stuff. I have, like I just said, had some negative experiences with it. You guys got to do better if you really want to sell watches and you care about your customer, because it's about the customer. I know it's nice to make money, but you want those customers returning. And customer service is sorely lacking in 2023 in the United States, probably all over the world. But and it's an example in these online YouTube gray market dealers. So guys, there's my 2 cents. Please put your experiences down below, good or bad. Let me know if you had a horror story, put it down there below. If you had something great to say about some of these companies, man, put that down below. But as always, if you like what you see here, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and keep rocking those watches, gents. We'll see you next time.